I just watched a full My Little Pony episode on purpose without snide commentary. I believe this is personal growth. So,
It is, because now you're watching something that I want to watch. I love My Little Pony. My Little Pony started out my whole art interest.
that's amazing. When I was little, I was not into My Little Pony because I'm not a girl. Yeah, when I grew up, it was, they looked like actual ponies, by the way.
Yes.
And they did have their little pony world, and it was something that girls played with.
This episode was particularly about having faith in things you can't see.
All right, so let's set up the characters.
All right.
So the main characters of this show are, and you have to introduce them to me because I don't know.
Well, not all of the main characters were present.
All right, the main characters for this episode are
Twilight, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Fluttershy, and Spike.
moving past.
Yes. Continue. You're struggling. It's okay. It's ponies. It's okay.
All right, I did watch it all the way through. There is a lesson to be learned by the end of it. Mm-hmm. This character, Pinkie Pie, is pink.
Yes, she's very, very pink.
And she is exhibiting spasms, as far as I know. And she's saying that these spasms are portents of doom or glee.
No, it's her body gets certain like twitches or something that indicate that something is going to happen in the future, and she calls it her pinky sense, based off of the spider sense in Spider-Man.
So where Spider-Man can sense danger, she can sense something.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, and then she's got combos where, depending on the sequence of the twitches,
Yes.
can tell what's going to happen.
Yes, precisely.
I was confused because I thought that the Southern stereotype character Applejack would be the one who would have something like this, because I just remember all those old stories where there's some grandpa sitting down there, a whittling, and he's like, "Oh, my knee, it hurts. It's gonna rain." And I just was like, all right, okay, so
Pinkie Pie is supposed to be a character that is all sunshine and rainbows and randomness.
and the purple pony that's the protagonist of this story,
Episode,
what's her name?
Twilight.
Twilight. Okay. And she's got a little dumpy lizard named Spike.
He's a baby dragon.
He's a baby dragon.
He's a baby dragon.
She's training a dragon. How to Train Your Dragon, the My Little Pony.
We'll get to that later.
I just remember commercials with, not that I intended to watch them, but they were on, of all these little plastic ponies, and then there was just this little turd of a lizard, and I guess that was Spike.
Spike, yeah.
But they're still trying to teach lessons to kids because this is a kids show.
It is a kids show.
And you started watching it when you were a kid.
I still like it though because it has a nice home feeling into it, especially the background art. It's just very cozy.
And these early episodes, they were establishing their world.
Yes, they were. Although the original creator of the show, Lauren Faust, she had a different idea for how the show would go. And I think it was after the first or second season that she actually was not working on the show anymore, and other people took it. So the show took a very, very different turn at that point.
Okay, so this episode, what's the purple one again?
Twilight.
Twilight, not to be confused with
The movie
series.
Twilight.
Twilight Sparkle is practicing magic
Yes.
with Spike.
Yeah.
And then Pinkie Pie comes along and has a twitch and says that something is going to happen. She finds this ridiculous because it's not scientifically verifiable.
Not scientifically possible!
But then things keep happening throughout the episode that seem to confirm that
Pinkie
Pinkie Pie is accurate in what she's saying.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and Applejack comes in, she confirms this. You know, if you've lived here long enough, you know that if something's going on with Pinkie, you better listen.
So Twilight is new to Equestria?
Well, she's new to this town called Ponyville.
Because of course it is called Ponyville. She's sort of our representative?
Yeah, she's here to introduce this area of the world.
So as the story goes, Pinkie Pie's twitches get more confirmed.
Yeah, she said that, like, this particular Pinkie sense is different than anything she's experienced, and the only thing that she can tell about it is that it's going to happen in a particular place.
So they go down to this bog with a bunch of frogs.
Froggy Bottom Bog.
Yes. Twilight Sparkle says
Yes.
that, see, it didn't work, nothing happened, and then suddenly this giant four-headed monster comes out.
It's a Hydra, yeah.
They're a Hydra.
Yeah,
in-
there's Hydras in My Little Pony.
In My Little Pony. Well, I did like that one of the heads wasn't really, like, tracking with the other
Yeah,
heads.
no.
Like, they were all pretty uniform, and he sometimes was a little late to the party.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was funny. So they have to hop on these tall spires, or else they'll fall to their
Doom.
pony death. And everybody else makes it over, but then
The Hydra cracks some of the pillars down, and now, like, from Twilight's perspective, she's not gonna make it across this stretch of spires.
But Pinkie Pie is telling her she should jump.
Yeah, she quite literally says you need to take a leap of faith. And I like that it was just stated outright instead of implied, because some people just need to hear that.
So Twilight runs back, and then she
gets a head start.
She gets a head start. She jumps, but even though she gets a head start and jumps, she can't make it. And
Yeah.
so she misses the spire that she needs to land on, and she starts falling to her imminent pony death.
Yes, but as she falls, this bubble is forming in the bog underneath, and she ends up bouncing off of it, popping, and then making it onto the other side.
She makes it, and everybody's happy, and she's happy too. Then they kind of in a moment where they're saying, well, this must have been the
doozy.
but then Pinkie Pie says that wasn't it, because Pinkie
Yeah,
Pie
because
starts
she
having,
still twitches.
having another twitch, and Twilight can't imagine what could be more doozier
than that, yeah.
And then she gets all frustrated and kind of burns herself out and just lies
Quite literally burns herself out.
depleted
Yeah.
on the ground.
I like that she was just like, what? She like has a spasm of her own.
In character terms,
Yeah.
she comes to a moment of realization. And what
Yes,
is that
she
moment?
does. She just kind of sighs and just says, I can't make sense of this. I'm just letting this go. It somehow makes sense, and I can't tell you how. It just does. And she just accepts that the Pinkie sense actually does work. That it's something that she can even put her faith into.
So she can't understand it, but she's finally okay with not being able to understand it.
Yeah.
And she just chooses to believe. And that's when Pinkie Pie gets stable again.
Yeah, she just all of a sudden pops into just regular feeling again. And she was just like, well, that was it. That was the doozy.
So she couldn't believe that you would come to a place where you would actually believe even
yeah.
if you didn't understand.
I found it was awesome that, yes, a huge Hydra was coming after them, and that was super scary. But the thing that actually had the biggest impact was her just letting go and believing.
Twilight is very much scientific.
Yes, very logical
And
person.
wanting to prove that she's right.
Yeah.
And Pinkie Pie is none of those things.
Yeah, she's pretty much the exact opposite. She was just happy-go-lucky. She didn't care if Twilight believed or not at first. She was just kind of letting her decide what she wanted to think.
Yeah. And just to be clear, none of these ponies appear to have a job. So they've got tons of time to just be hanging out under rocks, behind bushes. And all that.
Incorrect. Pinkie Pie is a party planner. So if a person shows up and says, hey, I need a party planned, she'll do that. With Twilight, she is a student. And she is learning under the princess of this place. That's actually what she's being sent here to do, is to learn these friendship lessons. That's what the letter was about at the end of the episode.
Because this is some sort of study program. And what is the phenomenally cheesy full name of the Little Pony series?
My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Oh, God. But I guess because it's an intangible benefit,
What do you mean?
friendship is magic.
In this world, friendship does affect magic. There is something in this world called the elements of harmony. Twilight is the only one that represents magic, but hers does not work unless the others are with her. The elements don't work apart.
So she can't do magic on her own.
She can do magic on her own, but it's not nearly as powerful. The elements of harmony can literally turn deities to stone.
All right. So there may be things outside of your common perception that are just as real. And you have to make a choice whether or not you're going to believe. And because of that, that can give you hope beyond your personal abilities.
Yeah, and beyond your understanding, too. Sometimes things that you put your faith in, when it's strong, can make you go farther than you thought you could. It's very difficult to deal with those feelings. Let's say trust the process. A lot of people, when they're dealing with the struggle of putting together a piece of art, they can't fathom this thing getting any better. And they have to tell themselves, trust the process, to remind themselves of what they already know.
But that if they can connect with that creative energy somehow, that it's going to work out.
The reason that they keep on telling themselves, like, trust the process, is because they know if they keep going, it's not going to look like this.
So don't give up.
Kind of, yeah. But also, don't lose faith in what you already know. Whether or not you can explain it, if you know it to be true, stick to it, you know?
All right. And that's a good lesson for all of us. As we watch ponies who can twitch and have magic and drop frogs on people and things like that. I have survived watching a full, unironically observed episode of My Little Pony. So, one for the win column for you. And we will see you next time.
Bye. So what? Feeling what Keen was the original thing? Oh,
Hey.
it wasn't that bad.
It
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't for...
It's not for your demographic,
That's it.
but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It's for little kids.
It is for little kids, and it was done well.
Sure.
Even you laughed at something.
There were a couple quirks. Like, I liked the stupid Hydra head guy. I liked it that he just stuck his tongue out at him. I liked it that when stuff fell that third time, that it was the usual anvil.
Cartoon, yeah, the anvil.
Cartoon anvil, but then it was a piano, and then it was just like, that's random and ridiculous, but then they cut up to it, and they were actually...
There's a reason for
flying
it.
ponies in a movie van, and they were accidentally dropping this stuff on it. I liked it that they explained that. Very good, very good.
I feel bad for Spike in so many episodes. I wish they developed him better.
He seems to just be there to give notes.
He's a weird combination of the guy to pick on, the guy to dote on because he's youngest of all of them. He's a baby dragon. He's also an absolute menace. Whenever he has his own episode, he is a criminal. He has issues. And he like has serious
rogue dragon.
He has jealousy issues. He likes to control things when he can't control them. It's just like, whenever there's a Spike episode, everyone hates it. The poor guy needed better development. I wish that he had very obviously gotten more mature.
Yeah, because he stayed the same age the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much. The only difference that happened was in a much later season where, for some reason, he was going through weird dragon puberty where he got wings. Yes, they actually added, like, weird dragon puberty, but they didn't use the word puberty. Essentially, he like, got these rashes, he started to stink, and then he turned into a weird cocoon and then emerged with wings. And, like... okay, he's got wings now. Dragon, I guess. Like, there's other ways to develop him. I don't know. I think they gave him wings because Twilight got wings, and I was just like, man, dude.
All right, I've my fill of My Little Pony for today. So, thank you.
We're gonna be doing more of these.
What?
Of course.
This was... oh, no.
There's 9 seasons. You're not escaping this.